Hello and welcome back. We are here continuing in the Divergences mod, which has just been updated for patch 1.5. Big happy about that. Big ups. We are playing, as voted last episode, the Dual Monarchy, and we have a bit of a showdown with the kind of the premier powerhouse of this mod, which is Burgundy, with us as the Dual Monarchy. Dual Monarchy has a bunch of malices, but over the long run, they will be, much stronger, but, kind of at the start of the game, they can get pushed around by Burgundy, and Burgundy has sided against us when we are trying to reduce the autonomy of our subject, the Belgian Confederation. And so this is going to be fine. They got swayed for revoke claim on Picardy, so to be honest, this really isn't too big a deal if we were to lose this, but it is a bit of a showdown, and it is kind of cliffhanger that we ended last episode on. And so this is kind of where we're going and what's going on. You like this mod so much, says B Nutter. I like this mod a lot too. This is probably my favorite mod. It maintains the vanilla experience while giving you, kind of a bit of fresh dopamine in the sense that there's going to be a bunch of different stuff, or the general kind of vanilla experience. There's going to be a lot of stuff that's like different because there's a bunch of events and stuff like this. There are a few things that like kind of dramatically change balance, like the appearance of stuff like buildings that give a bunch of minting and authority, but overall, it maintains it doesn't change mechanics too much in terms of the vanilla experience. Wow, proportional taxation's getting gutted. What's going on here? Okay, I guess we're just waiting for it to stall out. We do have people who support it in government, so that's fine. But what we're going to be doing right now is we are going to be preparing to fight this army, or fight this out. I think what we're going to do is we are going to, we are going to have two 40-ish stack navies. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to make two 50 stacks out of these guys that are going to be able to land the Belgian Confederation, and we will get those recruiting up, and then we'll put everyone else on this front and look to slowly recruit up a little bit. So let's start with the Chinese army, which we're probably going to eventually use to push against the Burgundy. We could actually do a little bit of a pull. Howdy, Sangobi. How's it going? Let's start a poll. Should we cripple Burgundy? We can cripple them, or we can kind of leave them, in terms of our war goals on them, we can kind of either cripple them or, kind of leave something a little bit more themey or reasonable looking. But here, we're going to look to conscript up a ton. There should be a ton of available conscripts, 43, and so what we're going to do is we're going to make a very large China army here. Let's actually do this. And then let's put this up. And so this should be fine. We're going to conscript this up. It's going to conscript up really, really slowly, but we will use this one to push eventually in here. So we're going to put this one on this front, and we are going to put them all on defense over here on the Burgundy front. Why don't we recruit this guy, make sure we have a couple generals on this front, and so that's guy one is assigned. We have the Iron Guard army, which I think we've also assigned. Yep, so that's going to be good. And now we have this 35 stack. We're also going to mobilize this. We're going to put all on defense. Delaying tactics, why not? Actually, we should probably just take a... I think delaying tactics is better, but let's double check. So, plus 10% defense versus defense. We get increased morale loss, which is fine, but more camouflage chance of surprise maneuver chance. So, overall, I think this is probably worth it. Yeah, okay. And now we are going to, take a look at what we can do in terms of conscripts for these other guys. Because these guys we want a ton of arty on. And so we're going to take a look at what we can potentially do. So I think what we're going to do is, or have we already done it? Okay, so in Ulster, Munster, and Avignon, we have put in massive conscription edicts so that we can conscript up to, 50 there. So we're going to put down, and they're going to conscript a lot faster out of there. So what we are going to do is we are going to put up mobile artillery up to, let's do 25 in each of these armies, so we're going to come on in, and we want, why don't we do 7 from each of these? For each of these armies. And then that'll be 21. Oh, we have so much more available conscripts. We could go really big. I'm not sure we want to go that big, but... So maybe we don't even need all this. Let's get this down. Just make this a 50 stack, and let's get this, and we'll make it a... Not quite as big. Actually, let's make it a little bit. Let's give them conscripts. We'll just have it be nice, neat, and 50. So, a little bit tedious on this type of stuff. But we now are going to mainly conscript out of there. I guess we are super overkill on the conscripts, but we will... Yeah, we have this one conscript up to, you know, this absolutely huge 80 stack, so we'll raise all these conscripts for just playing defense, and then we'll make this one balanced. It will recruit up a bit faster, but we're gonna get another 35 out of some of these, and so clearly we over conscripted, but this is gonna be fine. Actually, yeah, no, this is gonna be fine. So how much is that up to? 39. Alright, then we'll conscript up some infantry as well. And then maybe we just leave the last bit nice and flexible where we can kind of... we still have a bunch of extra conscripts we can add in. Playing the Ottomans this patch is funny. The Collapse event has the option where you can just say no and keep it all. Or Empire Rum, I guess. Yeah. I mean, that's a bit of a powerhouse type play. I was thinking that they might be fun to play, but they start out with, like, all these guys as subjects. Definitely makes it so that, like, these other powers, like the Mamelukes, are going to be much more playable. Okay, so we're going to get conscripting up on all these. And the conscripts are going to come up really slow. And so probably initially we're going to be looking a little bit more defensive. We do have bigger navies than them. I think we're merging these two already. Yeah, these guys are already getting merged. And so we should be in fairly good shape. Now we do have this National Guard unit. But, well, first of all, we want to set you on defense. And secondly, we're going to give you some conscripts too so you can defend against landings. But just some regular footmen. And after this, we kind of have a nice little bit of balance and available units. In theory, they conscript up much faster if you put them in from different zones. So, like, we probably should have done that with the landing squad. But we'll have this guy conscript up, and I think we will be okay. And it looks like people want us to gut of the people who are here. They want us to, relatively speaking, be gutting Burgundy here. So we will look to put those war goals in. I think we're going to wait and see if it ticks, how much it ticks up, and if we are going to have to... I think we set the Indian army in on that, because we're currently not using that army. We'll just put this in on the uprising. That is what that is about. No, that is actually... Where is that uprising? Is that over here? No, that must be there. Okay. No, it's right there. Let's go there. And we need that to have a setback. So that's fine. We could even sway Burgundy with transfer state. I don't think so. But here, war goals, return state. Return state against our subjects, probably not looking too good for that. Legislative failures. We get a rewrite of the bill, and we continue on our merry way here. So it looks like they're actually going to assign front a ton over here and not maintain too big a garrison, which is going to overall be good for us, but is going to make this look sketchier at the outset, I think. We have a pretty big disadvantage here now. A very big disadvantage here. So we're going to recruit up a new army. France HQ. I'm going to put this little 5 stack, and then we are going to conscript up on this guy. I think kind of from a lot of places that are, as long as they're like kind of incorporated regions. And this should conscript up really fast because we're kind of just doing 1 or 2 levels from everywhere. And then once it gets to level 1, we'll put it on the front. Why don't we make this, give this some of the flavor so we can kind of keep track of what it's about. This is just a defensive squad. And now we can put on the front. Yeah, generally when you're only defending, you have a pretty strong advantage in a lot of ways. But it's looking like they are not going to have a big enough defense here. Where are you? You're traveling. You're stationed at France HQ. Do they just have... Are they really... Wait. They... Oh, they have no army defending. Well, this is going to be tidy work to make of the Belgians then. Okay. Well, we will... In that case, I think we just land... We check out where the Belgian capital is. Is this the Belgian capital? No, it's not. Or we don't have eyes. Okay, there we go. And we're just going to land with the bigger of these two. And we're going to send in the 42 stack here. And then I think for now we're just going to assign this, even though we're going to be landing with those guys later, we're just going to assign them to this front. So that they can help defend that. Albion Confederation wants a trade agreement. How do we... Are we even trading with them? How are we trading? Oh, that's a big market. Oh, sure. Why not? That is a big boy market. Of the markets, that is the biggest of boys. Looks like there's some Italy kind of uniting over here. Would I recommend VTM? I kind of... in general, I think I would, but the run I played on VTM, like, there was a bug that crushed the run, which is why the run's going to end, like, on the 5th episode instead of going later. And I don't know if that's VTM related, but I was kind of a little bit disappointed about that. Overall, I think most of the changes I like. There's some changes I don't like. I think, for me, for making content, I'm going to prefer vanilla, but I think Victoria Tweaks is probably, if what you're looking for is realism specifically, it's probably a better experience overall. I think most of the changes that are made are more realistic, and so because of that, I kind of, or I would endorse them. Yeah, would endorse. So we're trying to land in here on the cap. Let's make sure we have 2 pushers and 1 defender. I think we can just have 3-1. There's no one there, and there's the China army, and then we will try and have to valiantly defend here for as long as we can. It's not looking so good, but, don't see any of their navy. We also have a reasonably large navy. Why don't we land with this 31 stack? Oh, that 31 stack's attacking? Let's not do that yet. We want to defend only for now. Yeah. We do not want to advance into that, but they are advancing it to us, so I really also, in this mod, makes it so that this province, like, okay, first of all, they make it look like a dong, but second of all, normally Isle de France would not be adjacent to these provinces, and now it is, which actually makes the experience a little bit miserable to try and defend this. Let's see. Anglo-Fleet. Oh, do we not even win this? The Burgundian fleet they sent over. So it means we really hope these battles finish up. Actually, we could just send over here. Let's do that. That way, hopefully we can win. At least one of those guys wins. 7% is not going to be tenable because we only have 9% success chance, so we'll just take the minus 15% and consider it like having another setback. Oh, were we... Oh, looks like we might have just been crushed out of it anyways. Legislative failures, yeah. Just kidding, we didn't want that law anyways. Okay, we have a movement for universal suffrage. How big is the movement? Not too big. Okay, so we're just going to ignore that. We have some stuff we need to pass. We need to get off land-based taxation specifically for one of our journal entries, but we can't do that right now. Suppose we could. We also don't want to pass anything that's going to cause a huge problem. We could go dedicated police force. Yeah, this is fine. Because we are trying to keep the Angloy, we're trying to keep this event chain going, which we are in good shape for. It looks like their push is relatively slow here. And with this guy coming in on the node, and I think they have no defense, we're going to make sure that there's 3 attackers in this army. 3 attackers, 1 defender. Actually, let's just make it 4 attackers. That way we can push as quickly as possible. And is there an army here? Okay, just a 16 stack army, which should not be able to defend. Okay. Looks like they might have been defending against this other attack anyways. Or is this 2 strategic regions? The Belgian strategic region. It hurts my eyes. Okay, so we just have to hold. Oh, shoot. We forgot to put in any war goals. I think we'll just reload. We forgot to put war goals in on Burgundy. That's October. So, October... I think January we will still have time to put in the war goals. No, we actually probably have to go back here. Playing Moscow into Russia was a fun experience. Yeah, that's another one we were looking at. Ooh, we have custom load screens. Okay, so here we just barely have enough time to put in. Alright. Whoopsies. You guys wanted to kneecap these guys, though. Look at all these releasables, too. Well, I think we returned Picardy, right? That maybe makes some sense. Actually, just liberating guys makes sense. I think it's better. Alright, let's do that. Kanto? Bro, they control Kanto? What the hell? I think we liberate Netherlands. The County of Burgundy. So let's liberate Netherlands. Let's liberate the EIC, except it's the VOC. Actually, we don't want them to join the play. They have a reasonably large army. And this already looks a little bit rough for us. So let's liberate. County of Burgundy, sure, there's a couple here. And maybe we go for war reparations here at the very end. And then revoke claim. Yeah. Could still return Picardy. Maybe we don't hate this. Colonel du Cap. I think we're okay with this. Oh, live chat? Yes, I will turn that on. And let's end this poll. A bit delayed, but yeah, it is. It's free, it's a mod for Divergences of Darknesses. Would liberating Netherlands take away their sea access? I don't think it does anymore, because I think it doesn't release, I think they still have Picardy, so maybe we should have taken Picardy to nuke their sea access, to be honest. That probably would have been a little bit better, actually, but we're not reloading for that. I think we have most of the stuff. Okay, we know that this is going to fail anyways, so we're just going to cancel it. We could cheese it by making our government illegitimate and change the day that it's going to tick on, but we'll just go for dedicated. And not cheese it like super cheesy. It ain't easy being cheesy. I think, just about, I think they have Picardy still. Yeah. I think this is the... Okay, so I think we're going to try and send in both of our landings here. Or we gotta wait for this one to repair up, and we're gonna send in, just promote this guy. Have this guy land here with the 32 stack. There we go. And so now we have a bit more of a thing. Rhinish Union, nice. Also, we might not even end up winning against Burgundy specifically, so I think I like this. I think we did one... Did we already... Yeah, we already did this. Which looks a little bit better. We're going to be hemorrhaging a ton of money here for a hot minute, though. So this 34 stack is coming in. Now our 41 stack is ready. So we're going to get those guys cooking with our 33 stack landing army that we kind of... Oop, those guys cannot land. Why not? Okay, because they're busy fighting. Fair. Except, wait, what? Allegedly. We can't land allegedly. Apparently we can. Okay, that's fair enough. Let's get a couple armies. Let's get these guys advancing. What do you have? Popular Commander, Open Terrain, Offensive Planner. Sure. We probably should... Oh, we definitely should be checking ideologies. I forgot. We actually really care about people having the Angloid ideology to try and, you know, complete this journal entry. But this is one of the first times I've been able to catch stream, but I watched a lot of your videos. I like how you show everything in your playthroughs. Thank you. Yeah, this stream just generally kind of feels pretty casual. Not expecting too many people to come through because it's, you know, around the holidays. But also, pleased when people do come through. Yeah, we're just gonna be defending here. Hopefully we don't get wrecked. The real problem is we have an adjacency, like on our thing. We could get Renowned Playwright. I don't think that's... Well, I don't think we need the enactment chance. We're really not looking to get stuff through too quickly. Let's actually take Renowned... Well, it's like, it's so inconsequential as you get bigger and bigger and bigger, huh? It does make it easier to... pump it at other people later, though. And so... We'll take the enactment chance. Oh god, we're losing so much money here. This is such an expensive spot. Hopefully they can push them out here. Yeah. It's looking like... I forgot they have to full occupy our cap. That's nice. So, it's actually probably going to be a little bit rough for them. And we're in on the Belgians. So they're going to be capitulating relatively quickly. And so after this, then we will land these guys. And look to switch to pushing. 10% army defense is kind of a nice pickup at this current juncture. Where's your capital here? Is it Flanders? Yeah, it is. Okay. So we'll land Flanders, and then once we get them, we'll start pushing. Or we'll attempt to land Flanders once we finish up here. Did one of our... There's our fleet, there's our army, there's our army. Did our other fleet get nuked? Oh, is it just here? Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. How's my Christmas? Pretty good. You know, friends, family type thing. Pretty chill. I was planning on doing this stream later, but a couple friends of mine wanted to play Dominions 5 later, so that's kind of why we're streaming earlier instead. What will you give us? Become subject for Brunei versus who is this? Tung Ning. I mean, we're a little bit late to this party. And Tung Ning might try and take this from us, but I'm pretty sure we just crushed them, right? So I think we just asked for become subject. There's no front here, but we just have to land these guys. That was easy. Painless. Hopefully they just back down now. That would be super nice. Fearful, you better be. You better be. That minus 75. Alright, here we are starting to... The numbers starting to get a lot more in our favor as we both grind down their troops by just defending a whole bunch, and also as our conscripts come on up. We have a lot of conscripts. Let's see here. We could probably get in another consumption tax. So why don't we do that? And then let's check our legitimacy. We are in the 95, so we could increase taxes. That'll ease some of the burden. Okay, I think maybe we just kind of handle these guys just to make sure they don't get anything negative done on our boys. So we'll send the smaller army. And then with this 42 stack, we'll try and land in Flanders. And we'll see. Not expecting this to work, at least initially, but we'll see. We'll also, after this, think about switching to pushing. I find it funny that Burgundy's capital isn't in Burgundy. Guangdong is a great province to take early. Guangdong. Let's take a look at it. Does it have one of the... Guangdong? Guangdong is not a province. You mean Guangdong? Is there a special reason we like this as a result of the mod? I mean, it's a solid province, but there are better Chinese provinces, I think. Hong Kong. Got it. Is that Burgundy? And I've... This is Macau, so this must be Hong Kong, right? Yeah. Well, we're not going to be able to take it considering our truce situation. Oh no, they're going to be able to push us out. Damn. We will not get there in time. I think this implies we might have to redo. Yikes. We might have to reland them as a consequence of this. Why don't we see if we can get in here, though? I'm curious. Oh, we're not getting through that navy. Just kidding. Okay. I don't think we get through that. Because this army is... we just, like, landed. We didn't give enough time. So I think we cancel this. And I think this is the 37 stack. We landed in here. A little bit of a miss micro there. Not too big a deal. But we're not going to get through this 47 stack. We're just going to continue to grind down their troops. We're going to wrap up this war over here. I think pretty quick. Looks like they have a decent sized army. Or bigger than we were expecting. 31. I think we could still land in, but we'll see how that works. We are getting our convoys broken a little bit. But Belgian, okay, Belgian gets it forced on. So, I mean, low-key don't want to fly into that. I guess if we land up here, we might dodge that maybe. So maybe let's do that. We're not ready to switch to offense, but at some point we do want to turn up the heat. Probably with these guys. Once they get kind of fully ongoing. We'll just switch one of them to offense. Probably the offensive planner boy. Certainly not the defensive planner. But once we get in up top, this will really weaken their ability to go in on the front. Like, so they'll unassign a bunch of guys. Currently, the AI is really bad at like recreating armies like on the fly, and so they have this 120 stack army. So they're just gonna pretty much collapse. Really do hate the The laissez-faire bug, or the private construction bug, is super annoying. It actually makes us want to switch off of laissez-faire, to be honest. Let's take a look. I think we're fine just sitting, so maybe we shouldn't have gotten the enactment chance. So this 120 stack, what are you gonna do? You're just gonna beat us down with your navy. Fair enough. Fair enough. But now you're in the South China Sea. Are you in the middle of a battle? What's going on here? No, you're looking to get in. Okay. Yeah, maybe it was a little ambitious to tie up some of our war here. Looks like... Well, why don't we cancel this naval invasion here? And swap over here and see if they follow us. The AI should, but... If the AI doesn't, then we just get in for free. Or almost free. They actually have units back there, but now, look at this. With them kind of shuffling around their units, we now have perhaps the ability to push. So we're going to put this guy on advanced front and just have one guy advancing. Yeah, they're just going to follow us with their navy. So we might as well get in on the capital if we're going to get in, or attempt to. Or we could just assign this guy to the front, put our navy in the dockyard because we lose the battle anyways. Or let's see if we lose the naval battle. If we don't lose the naval battle, when it eventually happens, look at the boats. If we don't lose the naval battle and we can land like this, maybe we keep it up. And then if we can't, because this is pulling 50 units off the front anyways, and if we can't, we'll just dock them, kind of wait for us to be able to enforce on these guys. Are we getting in here? One thing I don't like is how long it takes to actually get in, because you have to do multiple naval battles. It looks like we're not even winning it. Jesus. How are we not winning our fleet against theirs? Did we just not have any... Were we super broken to begin with? No, it doesn't look like we are missing a ton of units. So I guess, I don't know. He who remains, this last remaining guy, we're just gonna... Oh, we can't promote him up. Oh no. You can enforce revoke claim without having any dirt? Okay. Well, that's fair. This National Guard's not even in the right. Our capital's not up there, so he wasn't even in the right region. Looks like we might actually just not win this. I think we just don't win this, and it would be cheaper for us to wrap this up now. God. Right? We win this if they couldn't tick us below 0, but they can tick us below 0. It's unfortunate, but it does leave us a rival. You haven't done anything in New World or Asia with this mod, so maybe try Japan. Yeah, there's a ton going on with these guys. I think that... Oh, I think we just take the piece here. I don't think there's a way to micro this to take the capital unless, like... Yeah, we're not even going to win this landing fight, this first one. And I think our Navy's going to get bricked. Sure. You got us. We still got what we mainly wanted, which was the reduction of autonomy. And now, most critically, this allows us to demobilize most of our army here. Which was going to get wildly expensive. This guy's bugged out. Waiting for fleets to be defeated. My guy, we're not even at the war with those guys. Let's see if moving this to a different HQ. Okay. Oh, was it just the different guy? Fair enough. Let's try landing with these guys. At a different spot. And we have our education coming on through, but we are going to need more bureaucracy before then. So let's take a look where we don't have tax. And we're going to try and prefer places where we do have qualifications here. Just do something like that. But the bug is that it's you're paying government funds for the private construction queue. So we're 75% of the queue is private, but it's being funded by government construction. And so that you're not getting to choose actually probably makes this the first time in this game's history where laissez-faire actually sucks. And it sucks because of a bug, right? It doesn't suck because, you know. We could ask them to become a subject. Occitanian Uprising, if we wanted to rumble with the Albion Confederation. Who's on their side? Savoy? I don't see no Danubian Confederation, so we're going to ask to become subject here, which is a bit unfortunate. Luckily, I guess, fortunately, we didn't demobilize these guys, because that would have created a little bit of a problem. We're going to put in there this massive stack. Let's do something like that. And since the Confederation can't even get there anyways, they're not going to be able to do anything here. And we should be able to help them out. Make them a subject. Get a nice French border after that. Looking like we're still having trouble here. Are we defeating the navies, though, now that we just have one admiral remaining? It seems that when you have one admiral remaining, it means that your ships are not going to be used in multiple purposes, but I'm not 100% sure on this. And so, like if your ships can be evolved in two different things at once, then they're being like kind of spread wide. And so perhaps just having like one admiral in a navy is actually like going to be a good thing for this reason. A little bit of bad vibes. So we'll get these through and then we'll get the education going. So we have 53 advantage here, so we're just going to push into Savoy. Albion Confederation can't bring... The lack of military access in this game makes, like, some situations a lot worse for you. Okay, well, we landed here instantly, so why don't we land these guys over here as well? Right. I understand we can't get in on these other guys, but I think that they are going to... conquer Lusong? No way. We're gonna get Brunei and Lusong then here, because we can tick them below 0. They can't tick us below 0 here. And here, we should just be able to push in just fine. Where's the battle at? We have a pusher, so... even though we're 100% skirmish, alright, we can fire this guy. Politically unaligned. This is my favorite part of this mod. It makes the guys politically unaligned when they get fired, or when they die. Truly, that is the least political alignment that one can lack, is when they are dead. Looks like we're gonna get in here. Also against troops. Ooh, it looks like we might not get in there. But we can enforce them below 0. They can't enforce us below 0, so... looks like they're gonna be holding a little bit of a bag. Maybe this is actually also just more realistic, this bug. But it, like, really just feels bad, man. Because it makes it so, like, it feels like you're just only building government buildings, which is, again, maybe a bit more realistic. Add a little bit of construction here. Is that a bug? I thought it was working as intended. Not like this, it's not. So the reason it's bugged is, so normally... what will happen is your investment pool, you can see we're getting an investment pool transfer of 141k. Normally what happens is what it will buy for in exchange for this 141k. Actually, that's very close to 75%. Let's actually just take a look. We're going to do the math on that. Alright, so 141, 218. So 64%. So 141k is 64% of this construction good cost. Normally what's supposed to happen is they are supposed to buy a proportionate amount of the construction queue. So they're supposed to only control 64% of the construction queue, but they're controlling 75%. And so this makes it so that, like, this is free money, and you actually want it to... the way it's supposed to work is you actually want to, be transferring as much as possible and never have the investment pool grow. Instead, always be transferring, like, maximum, which is what's going on here. But, and what you get for this is you get more buildings. But now, we're not getting more buildings. We have, like, an 11% of the queue that we are not getting to control, while simultaneously it's not giving us more buildings, really. It is a little bit, maybe a little bit more extra construction, but this is kind of painful. But we have, I mean, it's reasonably high IPT, so this is not, like, backbreaking, but when we get to the point where we're controlling, like, where this only covers, like, 20% of the queue, and we still only get 25% of the control, that's going to be really annoying, because, yeah, it's not working as intended. But, like, it would be intended for it to be 64%. That would be fine. And we're also in, like, a build-up period where buildings are so profitable, and, like, it's not like the AI is just taking huge L's, like, with the way that they're building stuff. So, like, it's fine. We just have to make sure that we kind of stay a bit on top of, like, PMs and spots, because if we do not stay on top of PMs, then the less good stuff will get built. Let's just swap these. Nice. We get dialectics kind of right as we're, I think we'll need a bit more explosives, to be honest. The lack of a place that has, we used to have a place, Lorraine has, where it has sulfur. I know there's a place over here that has sulfur normally. I guess with the way they rework the resources, it doesn't. Not ideal. But we do want more explosives in some of these spots. We're actually gonna, switch these onto using nitroglycerin. Maybe the auto-queue will pick this up. Let's actually not build the explosives. We'll cause a shortage here for nitroglycerin, and we'll see if they decide to pick it up. That way we can, you know, build the government administrations and the unis. Alright. Alright, we're still in tier 2 here. I think we just take another company. Kind of sucks that this mod doesn't incorporate any of the companies. Big sad on that one. We can annex Argentina soon here. Kind of once they finish colonizing up. Okay, this is the war we're still in. They're going to decay below 0. They are keeping all of their troops at home, and we're just tying up their navy and their troops, so eventually we win that. And then here we win this, because the other guy can't bring his troops to bear, categorically. And so we're just in good shape here. We are just kind of chilling a little bit. How's everyone's, you know, kind of Christmas, week following Christmas week going? I thought about doing like some sort of raffle for Christmas, but I didn't organize well enough ahead of time. Like I would have had to like buy plaques and like try and mail stuff out and stuff. But maybe we could do that for some other holiday. Also, I didn't poll and check and see like stuff with people. So they conquer Lusong. I think we're okay with that. Nice. And here we would be okay with just white piecing. But let's get these guys landing here. Let's get this guy landing. And finish up this army. Or finish up this war here. We have a few more government admins and then we will finally get these unis up and going. But speaking of, we do have the new PM for them, so let's activate Philosophy Department. Get some university throughput. That's going to help a lot. Are we at cap? I don't think we're at cap yet. Okay. We are at cap, so now we are starting to increase natural spread. So this is kind of the easiest thing that is... I hate this tooltip so much. The language of usage of cap. Because... this cap doesn't just go away. It doesn't get destroyed like how caps normally work. Instead, you see here we have this unspent innovation modifier. It's the third one down. And so whatever flows over the cap is going to increase our natural spread. So we're going to natural spread text faster. However, we don't start super far behind on text. So we're going to want to actively like kind of ahead of time research a little bit more now moving forward so that we can make use of our text spread in universities and stuff like this. Dual Monarchy is kind of OP? Yes, it is. This is what the people wanted, though, when we were voting what to play. It looks like Russia's doing strange border gore things in this currently. Dual Monarchy is, like, also OP, like, in the hands of the player where it doesn't, like, break apart. Because it's supposed to break apart into, like, France and the UK. I don't know how I feel about I think that I would prefer this mod more if, you know, if England and France were separate. And you didn't have this weird, like, yeah. I don't know. I'm overall, I think I'm not a fan of it, but overall I am a fan of, like, a lot of the things that this mod does, so I'm a fan of the mod. We're probably going to be reducing autonomy in several spots, like, once we get our infamy down a little bit, so why don't we... Rust sides with Vinland. What's going on here? Morgals and obligations from either side. This is, I guess, oh, they're start out as a subject of Scandinavia. I understand now. I mean, I don't think we have much skin in this game. Burgundy skies with Scandi. Well, now it's a little bit more tempting to just side with Burgundy on the same side as Burgundy so we can kind of fix our relations a little bit. We're going to kick the rest of these government admins. We're no longer running a deficit. We're going to kick these to the back. We want to maintain the progress we have on them, but we just don't need them right now, so... Literacy's creeping on up. Or do we need them now? Do we have a... We could get another level of literacy. Son of a bizzle. And health institution? Yeah. But why don't we get these universities in place and then look to increase this stuff? Where do we have tax? Let's build some of these to EOS, maybe. We probably don't want to do that yet. Let's just get rid of some of this tax malices. That seems good. It's going alright. You've been sick, so not feeling great. That is a bit of a bummer. Being sick over the holidays is never fun. Especially if, like, you're not going to see people as a consequence. I don't know exactly what your situation like. Kind of, yeah. They should be OP if they have England and France's resources, unless they altered them in the mod. No, they're... So you have some pretty hefty negative modifiers at game start, but you can just get through those, and then you have, like, you also have worse tech than vanilla, but, like, you have so much pop as well. You're, like, if we take a look, we might be the most populous, you know, like, nation at this point. Or we're the second most populous nation after Wuguo. Like, and we start with, like, really good tech and incredible resources. So, yeah, we're going to be enforcing on this. I guess we're not enforcing on the Albion Confederation very quickly, but once Savoy capitulates, then it'll be over quickly. Let's de-isolate some of these. Oh, I'm not a fan of, like, one of the VTM changes I'm not a fan of is your colonies can't expand unless they have port access, which, in my opinion, just kind of introduces extra micro. So I'm not too much a fan of it. I think it's more realistic, though. If you want, I think that that's the primary driver behind OPBs, like the way he approaches that mod, is he's trying to create something that's more realistic. And so, like, the changes I don't like are, like, changes that I don't think are, I dislike from the perspective of, like, it being a game, right? I also think that, the overall, like, bringing up of the petite bourgeoisie, I don't know how I feel about that. I'd have to take a closer look, because I know he heavily changes in that mod urban centers, but I'd have to take a look at the numbers, or a close look at the numbers, which I haven't. I think we'll just take that. Nice to get a roll like that at the start here. So this is Plantagenet. Oh, can we seesaw these guys? No, we can't, because we're in a conflict right now. Can ask for war goals. Can ask for obligations on them. I think we won't interfere, because we're in the middle of a war ourselves. Oh, wait. Revoke civil yard. But we can't accept this peace deal. It says that it's kind of ready to go, but we can't accept it. That's a bit strange. This mod does change that you can annex dominions, which I don't know how I feel about that. They didn't alter resources, but if you mess up the nation split in lore, Scandinavia and Burgundy are supposed to take you out, then it really doesn't happen that often. Did they change the shape of any of the provinces of the mod, or is this just a ton of split states? No, they changed the shape of a lot of provinces. So, like, Texas isn't Texas. You can see that's Bahia, plus this is Apache. California is broken up. They do change the resources in a few places. So, for example, there's way more iron and coal in you know, the, what is it, northeastern USA regions. And they also consolidate some of them, which is overall better for Mappy, but like these states just overall get a lot better. They also changed heavily Australia. So Australia is actually really good now. It looks like agricultural, like throughput, like a, yeah, there's a ton of stuff now in Australia in terms of arable land. So look, this was like 20, now it's 200, and it's got rice farms, and it's got a ton of pops. And so Australia's also looks like significantly better than it used to, but those are the kind of the two big changes. Oh my god, my brain. It just like filters out that I saw a 0. Just trying to get colonization. Just look to play a little quicker here. Romani Uprising. I think this is a little bit ambitious. Also, why could we should have a truce with Burgundy. I'm not sure why we could side with this. Do they just count as the aggressors? I guess they count as the aggressors. Weird. We accept this peace deal now. Okay, so we do have a few subjects, so let's see about reducing their autonomy. I think you're a subject. Okay, we could just annex you. So this is different than vanilla, which means that overall expansion is a lot lower infamy. We probably will go for that. I don't think we have mill access through them because they're Dominion. Or they might have changed that though in 1.5 point something. Definitely reduce these guys' autonomies though. We just annexed over there. Protectorate, Trucial States. So we have Trucial States, Sind, Congo. Trucial States, Sind, Congo. So that should all look much better now. I think they should add an event where Scandinavia and Burgundy fight you in Bohemia, and if you can keep the empire because you earned it, but you lose if you're significantly weaker, and you would have to scale with stronger enemies. Yeah, but the AI can't win those fights. Although I haven't done it in 1.5, but like as Bohemia, you can fight Scandinavia and Burgundy solo and win. This is like a separate issue, right? Regarding balance. With new Victoria 3 updates, is it a good time to coming in as a new player? With the new Victoria 3 updates, is or a good time? So Victoria 3 right now, I think it's a good time to come in as a newer player. The worst time would have been like right before 1.5, because 1.5 changed the economics, which changed a lot of the strategy, like, or the deeper economics. Perhaps it's not too big a deal. I love Priscille, but it does change things a little bit on that front. I think we're going to annex these boys. Oh, they just accept? Alright, well, it do be like that sometimes. But now we can get in on these guys, these interior guys, which of course, we want the gold. Oh, I forgot. We have a bunch of decrees we don't need. That we put in to try and win that war. Yeah, the fact that they had no war go against us was rough. So maybe we get a bolster, or do we want to use a different decrees? We're not really building in one centralized place. We could encourage resource industry in Lancashire. It's probably okay. Then maybe we bolster. Who do we bolster? Industrialists. There's about no shot of getting these guys demarginalized right now. Kind of would like to double their bonus for the migration attraction. Although we don't really have an expansive market, so maybe we just bolster these boys. Maybe it's more of a suppressed question. Whoa, what is this? What? I don't remember this play. I don't remember any of that. Wait. Am I going crazy? Or I'm just not paying attention, I guess. So just over annexing this province. Interesting. Oh no, our guys don't get there in time. Rough. This is one reason for having regional armies, which we never deleted that one stack, so I guess we're gonna move them in a little bit. Ooh, kind of do want this bonus. Why don't we boost them up and just hope that we kind of get there? So this one stack should be able to hold them for long enough for these guys to push in, these other guys. Oh, and then this Senegal. That's this here. Alright. Send the Indian army to deal with that. Or we won't. I hate this bug. This is the bug where we can't send the guy to the front. Is that what's going on here? So we just get tied up in the war forever unless we capitulate. It's frustrating. Yeah. Is that the bug? So let's just take a look. Oh, not that one. I'm so confused. Alright, I guess these guys just... This is an event that just triggers and they all just go to war with each other. And since we have this guy as our subject, we're just going to get it for free, the entire bag. We like getting the whole bag for free. Nuked a lot of our conscript kind of setup that we had done. Looks like these guys aren't even pushing each other, though. Maybe it's because they don't know how to path around this new territory, but if this guy just... This is just annex the entire thing and not just the individual states. Because Zusha is a state, right? Or Yaluo is a state, and Zusha is... I'm guessing it's both a state and a province, right? Oh, they're just annexing the whole thing, so we get the whole thing? That's disgusting. I mean, our run is already so strong here. Taking Ethiopia before they annex everyone's also a thing you could do. Can you make an Egypt guide starting for 1.5? We're going to do an Ethiopia guide, which is going to be... It's going to have some of the... It's going to have some similar, like, things going on. To... Because, like, so Egypt's also got the whole thing with the Ottomans, like, at the game start, but, ooh, we want enactment, we want approval, please give us your plus 10s, minus 50% radicals. So, here, can we be more legitimate? Not really, okay. But we can increase taxes now. Don't need to just yet, but I think we're going to up construction. But, like, economically speaking, Egypt has this enormous struggle now. And that struggle is that they just get absolutely wrecked by the fact they don't have wood and iron. And it's like really, really rough. So... Alright, we get to add a company here. So which one do we want? It's probably the tools one. And then we'll probably do wood and rubber. Right? I think I like this. So let's do tools. And then we have another research thing. So now, because we're overflowing on tech, and we actually have a ton of money, we want to go ahead of time on research a little bit. We would kind of want rubber mastication, I think. We also could research into... Wait, why is this natural spreading to us? The frick? Do they change this in the mod? Why do we have a natural spread for improved fertilizer? It should only natural spread tier 2 techs until all the tier 2 techs are research. What the hell? What's that about? I don't know if that's this mod bug or if that's like because the mod shouldn't affect that, or if that's just a bug or a mod feature rather. The other thing to go for is maybe ironclad into gantry cranes. Wouldn't hate that here. We could also go quinine. Let's go quinine. And then following that, I think we actually will want to maybe do this. Starting to like going for the ironclad gantry cranes combo a little bit earlier than before with the new naval changes. I started about a month ago and I'm having a lot of fun with it. With Victoria 3. Or with specifically Egypt. Okay. The bastard market? Jesus. Is there a reason? Oh, we're at war currently. That's why we can't declare war on them. That makes sense. Wow, we just get the full annex. Just get the full shebang. Wow. The freezies, good dealsies. Holy shit, dude. This is like so busted because they're our subject. We like subjugated them at the very game start to like pick up this little piece of territory because, you know, we're a fan of the port that gives us plus a ton of minting. Wild. And then we finally get in over here. They should be done relatively soon here. And we're about to clear the queue. Very exciting. Really do want this law passed, but it's gonna be a little bit tough with V3. Why is it spelled Scandinavia? Scandinavia? I honestly am a terrible speller, so I didn't even notice this. / still don't, like, recognize that that's not properly spelled. But I'll take you at your word that it isn't properly spelled. I'm really not a good speller. I think we'll do that. Maybe we can do this. We'll exempt here. We're still keeping those guys as devout, because it is going to help our cloud overall, and man, when we get this bonus doubled, it's so nice. I think we're going to lose the bonus here, though. Oh, it has to be 8? Perfect. We never lose the bonus. Can't stop, won't stop. Also, kicking above 300 construction is nice. Will you just... No. Alright. Wow. Insane, dude. That, like, this land is worth so much in this mod. Like... well, that one doesn't have a ton of arable land, but look, like 65 here, 75, and it's got like a ton of resources too. 100 can kind of make everything. Can make silk, can make all these things. 100. You know, it's just very valuable. Like really good mappy on a lot of these places. I think there's a couple spots with coal and iron, right? Oh, maybe not. But they do have a ton of gold all over the place, so that is always valuable. We always do take those. And now we can annex people and reduce autonomy. Still waiting for, I think that... Is there a way for us to check who has the colonization rights here? So Argentine, we can't colonize here, so it looks like it's not done colonizing, but here they do not have. But looks like there's a little bit left. And once they finish that, I guess we'll go after that. I can't visually see any of it, though. So like these little islands. A little keen on annexing them. We're at 8.7 infamy, though. Let's do this. Send these guys over there. And we are about to get Angloy ideology. I think we'll play until we get this. I think this will be about when we look to stop this this session. Or maybe we'll play it. We'll probably play a little bit longer than that. That's not quite that long. Or I guess it's to be determined how long it is, huh? One day we'll get prop tax. And then we'll get reform bureaucratic. This is what we're waiting on right now. Oh, we also have to go after hereditary bureaucrats. Fair enough. But that's a pretty... That's a little bit rough kind of modifiers there. Mashing the predictive text thing on my phone makes a completely incomprehensible block of text only understandable by the mentally deranged and the Irish. You know, for a sentence that you derived from mashing the autofill, that one's pretty understandable. I think we could add more construction here. But it's still, like, it's still bugged out. It's still 75% allocation. Man. I almost, like, don't want to play a vanilla run with that going on. Just kind of looking at which places have unemployed. I'm gonna add a few in Beijing. I also hate that, well, I dislike that this mod doesn't have, like, a lot of the resource updates. So, like, Beijing doesn't have, like, it has the resources it had in 1.4, and not, like, the very nice, you know, 1.5 resources. But, like, they also have a bunch of custom states, so it makes sense that they, like, can't do, like, that just quite yet. Ooh, defensive strategists. We really have to read their ideologies a little bit more, though, because we do care about this. Where are we getting it from? We're getting a lot of it from Cloud of Angloid Supremacist Group, combined popularity of Angloid Supremacist characters, a lot of whom are generals. But also we have some in Gov, so it do be like that. God, we keep low rolling these event chances. It's kind of rough. Let's take a look. So I think we built up to 21. I think we'll build up to 31 in anticipation of getting, at some point, we will get mechanized workshops. I don't know what to make of this natural spreading to us, though. That's not how it's supposed to work. Or that's not how it's ever worked at any time, like, ever normally. So, yeah, I don't know what to make of it. Hey, does anyone know how they ever fixed the uncallable island northeast of Hokkaido? Northeast? Uncolonizable island northeast of Hokkaido? Well, this is a mod, but I don't see an uncolonizable island northeast of Hokkaido. We could probably declare more interests, can't we? Can't we? Let's do something like that. It'll be nice that we will only start expanding the Navy once we're, like, kind of ready to do it. Let's station you where you can repair. Let's get the Indian Army mobilized, and I guess we'll also use the Indonesia army here. Interesting that this stuff's colonizable. So I don't think we could start any plays, so we'll just make do. This is also going to give us so much frontage into this. We're just in very good shape on the colonization game right now. Spain's in our Bruneian peasant revolts. Alright, we'll send the China army over to deal with that. Very small revolt, though. It's a base game mod, part of the same state, but affected a few smaller mods I tried. Base game bug. I think it's an AI issue. I've never seen it. I've never had it happen to me as Japan, but I always see it as the AI Japanese. Oh, if you're talking about... Yeah, like, AI Japan rarely colonizes. But, like, if you play as it, you get to colonize it. You couldn't finish colonizing the state even in playing Japan? That does sound like a bug, then. I think we'll take this. Might come back to bite us taking the thing here, but I think it's probably fine. Wow, just like always, this is like the second session we played, and it like already feels like we're in such a dominating position here, like globally. Like, relative to even, like, when you're kind of, like, normally playing, UK or England, like, it still feels like it takes a little while. But there's, like, no one here to oppose us, right? Like, it's not like a team of Russia and Poland could do anything, or, like, X plus Y or whatever. Suppose we want to at some point liberate Scotland, but we're... Are we going to be forcing a rev on the landowners soon? I don't think we will. I think we could do this without revving them. So I think we just do it kind of normal, because they have an ideology that we really like, which endorses a bunch of stuff that we like. So, like laissez-faire. Quinine's going to be nice. I think we're switching to ironclad in this now. But it is going to update where we can colonize a little bit. Why don't we just colonize everywhere? And then, I don't know if this is still bugged, but we're going to save and reload. Because normally, like, the game's bad about updating. When you change your colonization speed, it doesn't, like, update for you until you finish the next tick of colonization, which can be, like, 1,000 days or something, right? If you don't have the right thing, so we're just save loading there. Kind of ease out of that. Is Japan difficult? It's a lot worse than 1.5 now, because you have poor mappy states. And being behind in tech is worse now than it used to be. But I wouldn't say it's difficult, more is just slow. I suppose we have to take a closer look, though. Lotharingia. Can we slingshot sway here? No, not yet. So maybe we try and do that. Brazil is got a revolt in Brazil. But we maybe try and slingshot sway against the Lotharingia. If they, like, don't want to become our subject. Oh, they just want to become our subject? Cool. Did they adjust the AI for that in this mod, or is it just because we're so much bigger than everyone else? Interesting. Well, I guess we got ourselves another subject. Bro, this is gonna be super map painting. Alright, where do we have a ton of unemployed? We're probably gonna build... Let's build some construction in those places. I guess we don't even have qualifications there. Whatever. And then let's play a little bit of whack-a-mole with the infrastructure issues. See, Burgundy's got a little bit of a problem. Now, we sided on with Lotharingia, which means I think we can start plays now. These guys we won't be able to reduce autonomy on, nor these guys. I don't think it's been 5 years, no. Let's check who our subjects are. Belgian Confed, we can't do anything. Trucial states, Brunei, Occitania will all have truces with. Lesotho, Sind we might be able to do something with. Let's take a look. They will accept? Sure. And Iraq, I think we also subjugated. And I guess we could come into here. Iraq's really got all the good territory, though. Or it's got the really, really nice territory. Does this even updated with all the coal and iron? It's not updated with the 1.5 coal and iron. So, like, it's not anywhere near as resource rich. And also isn't going to have all the other stuff. So maybe we just go up to Kuwait and call it a day. It's like Saddam Hussein vibes. Where is going to be the best place for us to expand now. Going after QQ makes a lot of sense. It's a lot of infamy, big chunk. But we don't have a customs union, and we haven't been really developing one, so... Could go after these guys, maybe. Do we have a truce? Why doesn't it let us? Make protectorate. Is that just bugged? Oh, unrecognized major. Wow, off of 2 states? That's wild. Oh, 3 states. Bro, that's crazy. Too crazy, man. I think that one of these, I think this is like the only state that has coal and iron. We could go after that. Dynam would maybe make some sense. 50 infamy, that seems like a lot. These guys are major by now. We could protect these boys with the idea that Shaanxi is right here. The most resources in the game. This is super resource dense and pop dense for when we decide to accept everyone. This is probably, yeah, this is probably the way to go, huh? Aragon declares rivalry. We have more construction coming in here. Just a little bit slow because the railways are ahead of it. Why don't we... Are you assigned anywhere? No, you're not. We're going to raise the conscripts and send this... Oh, Shen just backs down. Fair enough. Or Shen. Oh, are they already subjects? They are. Jesus. Without a clause. Actually, how long is this? 5 years? Super tempting to do this one. Actually, kind of a weird spot. But we want to pass a law that they don't like immediately after. We see that we're at 86, so by ticking this down, we will hit the next tier, legitimacy. So we will do that. Just going to help with the loyalists. Really trying to kind of maintain this Catholic Church being popular, because this is going to result in us having way more loyalists than we have any business having. And by Catholic Church, I mean the Buddhist monks, because this is whatever. Tibet? Go after Tibet? Jesus. Someone pick a nation in this mod and I'll play it. Okay. Well, they said Tibet, so I guess Tibet. I think Qing actually would be a lot of fun to play. Uniting China, and you start out with really nice looking states. So it should have a pretty smooth playthrough, because all the Manchuria states are quite nice. While at the same time you don't start out absolutely huge. It's so tempting to take the minus enactment time. I mean, how much do we care about minus 5% enactment? Oh, Jesus. Let's just do it. This might be really bad, though. It's gonna tick really fast, but we also might miss now. I actually hate that decision. I wish we didn't do it. We're going to use our one time from the stream. We're going to call one time on proportional taxation, so now we're going to get it very easily. But you can only call one time a stream. One time once a stream, so we will also have to endure that. And we roll the exact same event anyways. Jesus. Suppose we could reduce autonomy for these guys. 6 infamy and that's it? Jesus. I guess. Pretty infamous. Pretty big deal here. Who would be really good to get into our markets to pull migrants from? I guess kind of most of these Chinese ones, because they're actually small enough. So maybe we improve relations with some of these boys. Maybe we just want to decay out of the infamy faster. Keep a couple of these. Or just with the one. Yikes, we're getting wrecked here. But we used our one time, so. The Qing in the Pacific Northeast looks interesting. Are the Chinese states warlords? Can China be unified? You can form China, yeah. Love your content. Thank you, C. Anderson. Welcome to the stream. Tibet or Qing? One time, let's go. Yeah, we called the one time, so you know, we'll tick down to like we'll get another negative event, putting us at 4%, and then we'll go tick and get it in both of those 4% ticks. So it's nothing to worry about without a clause. So this is the negative event. Oh, it's not a negative event. Again, somewhat tempting to choose the landowners. Except landowners are kind of opposing this. Let's do these guys for now. The Voice of the Nation. Now that's a cool anthem. Let's go, baby. If we build the... we have to like think about massaging the auto queue, but if we... Here, let's actually put that up in Midlands and put in Explosive Factory at the top of the queue. Because I didn't notice, but Midlands has sulfur. So we'll build a few construction sectors there. About to hit the 100 million mark. This has felt remarkably smooth in terms of the come up. Probably because we start out with a ton of peasants as the dual monarchy and good tech, which is like not a phenomena you get very much in vanilla. Alright, we're gonna use... Fortunately, we have behind here a bit of government administrations, but this is also very uncomfortable. So, why don't we just do that? Slap another 10. Qing would be much easier than Tibet. It's like they're not even in the same like discussion. Like Tibet, you also have to endure this, which is like the worst construction and infra modifier in the entire game. Tibet would be rough. The landowners are almost universally bad, except in certain cases. Yep. Yep. Oh, we were gonna try and sway these guys, or we were. And then... we didn't pause correctly. Or is it's already mobilized? Oh, this wasn't even we're just gonna load and not mess with them. I thought that was a different country. I'm somewhat out of it right now, I guess. I feel like I'm making a lot of really small mistakes. But the idea is, what we were planning on doing is, if you... So you can sway one way, like the rubber band sway, which is something we've kind of been experimenting a lot with this run. Which is like, we're not going to do it now, but like what you do is, after we sway to Iowa, then we can sway into these guys a lot more. Shout out to the trash truck outside. Is there an emote that looks like a garbage truck? There is no emote that looks like a garbage truck. Terrible. Our kingdom for a garbage truck emote. It's like wee-woos, but not. Yeah, we don't mind giving that guy a grifter. And we hit our event. Oh, there is one that looks like a Rusty Juice with the right emote. Can we copy paste that? that how that works? A. Alright, we do get the event. Anglo-French monarchy. Eventually we prevail. Dual monarchy enables cultural exclusion and citizenship. French and English homelands are merged into Angloy homelands. Big nice. We love to see it. Bro, that was easy. So now we just need the bureaucratic reform, which we're working on right now. Looks like some people are upset. No, looks like some people are upset. Alright, so we're gonna get a rev, I guess. Not like this. I mean, we used our one time, right? So obviously we hit this before we get a rev, but also I hate that our capital's like... Alright. I think this is kind of our biggest army, so we are going to here start adding some military and get ready for this rev. So obviously we get prop tax right here. Cool. The one time, 60% of the time it works every time. And now these guys like have to be on the verge of rev unless we just went back up the chain, huh? Man, do they really love their national supremacy. Maybe we're supposed to do that. I think, we could go racial segregation. I don't think we have anyone who we... I think that everyone who we discriminate under... I think we'll have the exact same discrimination for both of these, and this would make everyone really happy. Oh, it's not even going to make landowners happy enough to not rev. I wonder how that works. I don't think... So usually we aren't in a position to enact a law that would make someone happy and simultaneously have them be in the rev zone. So why don't we try that? I'm pretty sure racial segregation is not... I can't think of anyone who would be Angloy and also be not European. Or be of the Angloy type. Let's just take a look, I guess. Angloy, Francophone, European heritage. So is there anyone who has got the cultural that shares a cultural trait with Angloy and Francophone? Just Angloy? Okay, so Francophone. So Welsh, Cajun, Afro-Antillean. Okay, so there are a few. Afro-Antillean, Afro-American. We don't have these pops at this juncture, though. But I'm also curious and see if these guys... So these guys will be minus 15, the landowners? I'm very curious to see if that's enough. We could also just go ethno-state, which would be kind of amusing. But will these guys leave government and force a rev? And I don't know. No, wait, why are they +5? Please. I thought it said they were going to be minus 15. Oh well. Well, everyone's happy. Everyone likes when we go racial segregation. There's the one time. Yeah, 60% of the time it works every time. One does not simply not get the one time to work. Send the Indian Army. Indian Army's looking like they're kind of just being doing everything for us. So why don't we actually outfit them a little bit better? Angloy ethno-state type? I mean, we could. I really hate how migration works, though. I think my actual favorite patch was 1.5.5, when they had the absolutely unhinged migration, but it allowed discriminatory migration. which made it so that this is something that Victoria Tweaks mod also changes, is it makes mass migration much more significant, and I didn't have an opportunity to like really play around with that balance, but I think that change is really good, while making intra-market migration a lot worse, because which would be something I would prefer, but I think that it's like completely unviable to like go ethno-state like categorically and also to go religious, and I would just want something to be a little bit more viable in those regards. Wow, we're making so much money. God damn. Let's tax some of this and reduce taxes maybe while we ramp up construction. We'll get some loyalists. Where do we have a ton of peasants? We already went after the unemployed a little bit. Where do we have peasants and qualifications? Oh, we have so many qualifications now in all these places because we accept their pops. Which is fantastic for us. I think the problem with a lot of these states is they do not have coal or iron, so we're just going to build just a few there. And I think Leinster, does it have it? No, I don't think so. Rhone, alright, Rhone has a bunch of resources. So let's just do that. Probably going to need a railway in Rhone as well, or we will soon. You're going to check out this mod, would highly recommend. If you like the vanilla experience, it's basically vanilla plus. Although there are some, we're starting to notice a few changes that are greater than the other stuff. Also, there are some problems in that, like, for example, Persia doesn't have the regionally updated resources. So a lot of, like, state-based changes in 1.5 have not been ported over to the mod yet. The mod is, like, they just released, hey, shout out to 100 million. They just released, like, kind of the next level of the thing, so, yeah. False democracy. It sounds like my YouTube channel. It looks like democracy, but I choose all the choices. The truth hurts. Love how our subjects are like so ready to help. Look at them zipping those troops around. Progressing to consideration. We'll also get a little bit more authority. But I think following this, the landowners are actually happy enough that we can probably try and go elected bureaucrats. We also already passed public school. And I think that we're not ever getting these guys above 20% clout, to be honest. So, we'd rather have the Intelligentsia have more clout, so we might make this swap. I think before you get public schools, it's a bit better to... Or sorry, public... not the schools. The schools aren't the one you need the devout for. The one you really need the devout for is public health insurance, but we already have that, so... It's like, this is like kind of the new meta, is using the devout to get public health insurance. Is this what it felt like being Queen Victoria? Feels like we have such a stranglehold on the map right now. And we do have this excess bureaucracy because the PB likes the fact that we're discriminating. I guess it's not enough yet. I think we have some in the queue. Yeah, we have a bunch of the queue, so we just kind of have to wait for the queue to clear. We're losing a bunch of money now, but we're also running low taxes, so... Okay, can't reduce autonomy on you. We can annex Congo here. I think we'll do that. They might just say yes. Let's just annex. Oh, they just accept. Fair enough. We're super cool with that. That'll allow us to colonize a little bit more. Scandinavia wants to trade. They want to trade this Scandinavia Guyaman. For Anglo-Nord Velpost. Alright. Yeah. So that's, they do want to trade this. So what are we getting here? 60. Two arable land. God, this seems pretty useless. Vest posts. They want us to, they want us to trade away this. I don't think so, my guy. How about will you do the reverse of this? Will you give us Nordvest posts? And we will give you Anglo-French Guyana. No, you won't? You don't think that's a good trade, my guy? Oh, we could give them an obligation then they accept. Interesting. So let's make sure ours is like worthless. Yeah, it is kind of worthless. Maybe it cuts them off a little bit more. God, Scandinavia's popping off on the colonization game. Super not used to that. Just like they already have an ingress here. Then we can't join plays against them. Maybe we actually just want to join a play against them the next kind of time they have a native uprising. So maybe we don't want to do that. We can always trade later. Like, this isn't going to get any more colonized. Or this region here, right? We're not going to lose value by not being able to trade and then colonizing. And, Do we liberate country? No. Also going after these guys maybe makes some sense. I wonder if they're all recognized. I assume they are. But you know what they say. It makes it ass out of me and you. These guys are probably... Oh, these guys are recognized as well. Or no, they're not. My brain can't read. These guys are not recognized. They don't have too much pop either. I wonder... We're also adjacent to them. They're major though, so we are regional. Wait, why can't we just subjugate them? $62 infamy is a lot though. A lot of provinces. Is this PvP? No, it's not. I think it cancels the negative bonus from cultural exclusion. That would make sense, how that works. It also makes sense that it would cancel. Super nice that we could just make that swap and like it's just uber painless and in fact they're actually just happy with us. So now we can try and get off of the bureaucrats. I think we... Yeah, so they'll only go to -1 here. It's a shame, though, that we can't put the Intelligentsia in power reasonably. Oh, we can. This is super reasonable looking. Okay, we like this. We take these. And now, instead of bolstering the Industrialists, we can suppress the Landowners. Hopefully they don't start a diplomatic thing. So one of the benefits of keeping them in Gov would be they can't start a diplo thing. Or, I mean, they can't start a movement, but I think this is fine. Of course, people are mad at us. That's the truth hurts. Lower infamy, or can't lower autonomy there yet. I think the plan was going for QQ, no? I guess we have a lot of infamy, so we can just kind of chill for a little bit. Command economy in Victoria 3 is so powerful, it's possible to increase construction 45 times with the law, especially if you have a lot of oil rigs to pay government dividends. I disagree. I think command economy is really bad, but it's extraordinarily good as long as you're under like 500 million GDP, and then it's really bad after that. Or that's kind of like the zone where it starts not feeling good, because so dividends, the way the command economy works is the government just gets all the dividends, so it gives you an enormous amount of control, and it effectively just eliminates the upper class, and you just get all the money, which, like, you do like to tax the upper class, and so this is, like, kind of the mechanic that you want. However, as you get bigger and bigger and bigger, you also can't deficit spend, but this is a little bit less of a thing. You get more and more of this modifier. All investments are multiplied by point whatever, and it trends to 0.3. And so when you come and take a look here, and we take a look at a weekly balance here, we see, some of this gets reinvested. For capitalists, they reinvest 20%. So this 20%, this reinvestment, is multiplied by 0.96. And then that 0.04%, that money just gets annihilated. The way it works with command economy, so this means money's getting deleted. However, it gets positively modified, by any capitalist investment pool contribution efficiency. So, for example, we're getting here plus capitalist investment pool contribution efficiency, and so more than 20% actually reaches the pool. It's actually, with this, instead of 20%, 20% is taken from the capitalist, 25% reaches the pool because it's an extra quarter. Okay. So that's how that works. But eventually, at a certain point, capitalism starts getting bad because this number gets too big, because it eventually trends towards, or it gets too small, eventually trends towards 0.3. With command economy, as you approach 2 billion GDP, it will trend towards 0.2. And this doesn't affect investment pool contribution, because there is no investment pool contribution. Instead, this affects the dividend in its entirety. And so the negative aspect where, the investment pool contribution modifier, negatively affecting 20% of the dividend, it instead affecting, 100% of the dividend, just annihilates an enormous amount of cash. So when this modifier starts to become large, command economy just becomes absolutely terrible. Or when this modifier gets smaller and smaller, it just starts getting really, really, really bad. But it's super explosive when you initially get command economy, if you have a small economy. How come you grasp on labor efficient buildings? How come I grasp? What do you mean? I'm not sure what you mean by the question. How do I understand it? Or how do we think about things differently? So resources are generally really construction efficient, and then manufacturing tends to be a lot more labor efficient. It's kind of the shortest way of explaining it. And so early game, when you care more about construction efficiency, logging camps and fishing wharves are really, really good. Stuff that costs less construction is really, really good. And then generally stuff that costs more construction tends to be, but is not always, more pop efficient. If you end up playing this mod again, I would like to see you save the declining Spanish Empire. I think it's super easy, because you can keep both of these, right? Spain has a really strong start in single player, from what I can tell. A few divergences. This guy gets it. Break their political power by looking up the goods they spend most on and taxing the dickens out of it. Generally, you want to tax what the rich people, are spending pretty categorically on, because their consumption profile is more exponential than the poor folk. Yikes! Why are chairs so expensive, man? I believe this mechanized workshop gives more. Yeah. Maybe we'll do that next. We also have some things at EOS 30, or a sufficiently high EOS that it would make a difference. Maybe we annex these guys. Let's improve our borders. Okay, is there pop coming? Are they siphoning off pops from us? I suppose is the question. No, we're siphoning off pops from them. Is their pops growing, though? No, their pops are shrinking, so I think we just continue to siphon them off instead. of annexing them. We want that pop attraction on them because they are the ones with whom we are passing the law, and we're so close to 20%. We actually want it badly enough that we're going to do this. We'll get plus 50% migration attraction once we go over 20%, and then we just have to stay over 18% because they will be powerful. Vinland got freedom, it looks like, from Scandi. Out of the frying pan into the fire. It was worth a shot, Scandinavia, basically. Trade states in Africa can be pretty useful. I agree, especially if, like, what we would actually want to trade for is, like, stuff like Kazembe would be insane to trade for because we're cutting them off from areas. It looks like they can't... It looks like they don't have Quinine yet because they've just stopped, like, dead, like, on the non-Quinine spots, so... To be fair, we're moving real slow. But eventually they make the company, right? And then they just release the things. And then it goes super slow. The companies just make the AI, like, colonize really, really inefficiently. Or the releasable type things. Once the current issues with 1.5 are done, what are you looking forward for the next possible DLC update? So, on the game's release, there was, like, kind of 3 things that sucked about the game. And that was, the UI was really, really bad. They fixed the UI. Military was bad. They kind of fixed military. To be fair, I don't think it's, like, fully fixed, but that's, like, okay. I think, yeah. It's much, much, much better. And then the third thing was diplomacy is insane. I hope they, in Spheres of Influence, I'm anticipating they do kind of fix up the biggest problem, which is for the longest time has been, we're going to increase taxes here. Well, actually, no, we're not going to increase taxes. For the longest time, kind of the biggest thing has been, or the biggest problem, or the biggest thing that's, like, not really worked that well has been, actually, I do think we want to do that. Whoa, that's 17, bro. Are they siphoning off migrants from us, though? Sorry, I think the diplomatic plays are just obscene, and they're why the game is, in my opinion, not very playable on, Iron Man. I think it's just really, really rough. Can we get these guys to close their borders? No, we can't. If we can close their borders, they can't siphon off, you know, pops from us. But they would have to get someone regressive in government. Or a little bit more regressive. They're on consumption-based taxation? Holy snap, dude. Maybe we'll be able to siphon stuff off more from them. But I think we kind of want to annex them a little bit quickly. Surely they're done colonizing now, though. Down here, so maybe we go for Arge, because I assume Arge is taking pops from us as well. Oh, they're probably not. Look at this. They got, like, no migration coming in. It's because they discriminate. Perfect. So we don't really care too much. And in some situations, we'll be able to siphon off from them. Yeah, so maybe we kind of keep going for QQ in terms of the plan. Maybe you're right, but I still managed to push construction until 1936 with oil country and command economy. Yeah, I mean, you can play with command economy if you want. You also can't deficit spend with command economy, because when you deficit spend, you incur this malice, like, harder. It increases the malice. But that's the really mild thing. The problem is that money is just getting deleted. Is the biggest thing. It's, like, not sustainable. But, like, you can definitely, like, play with suboptimal laws. And it won't, like, make the game unplayable. Sind, or... You get an obligation. I think they just handle that without us now. Yeah, Sin just handles that for us. It's not worth mobilizing or anything. We just have to get... We're about to get this. Oh, we need to also handle having more bureaucracy. I think we have a ton in the queue. Also, we will get a ton of bureaucracy once we... I think do elected... No. I'm not sure. Scandinavia sides with Sind. What did they give you? Call ally? Okay, fair. Maybe there's a world where we can get a trade agreement with Burgundy, but I think we're going to end up fighting them again at some point. So maybe this is not the way we should be thinking. Let's actually take a look at all the pops, what places are most populated, and then think we probably want to try and get them into our custom union in the long term. Maybe we just rival Burgundy. This is certainly more themey. I guess these guys probably also... Let's take a look at our trade routes. Well, it's so easy to just kill all the things that are not making money, but we're going to leave in a lot of these that aren't losing too much money. Okay, I think that's fine. And now... let's see about importing some of this stuff. Especially from people with whom we have an adjacency. Yeah, this huge amount from Bengal is like kind of what we were thinking of in Hindustan. Meat? Cool. Sugar. I actually kind of don't want tobacco in our economy because it's going to increase the overall consumption of tobacco relative to opium. And we don't want that. We would like to be able to produce opium ourselves, though. But we could import liquor to have the reverse effect. So just as long as it's profitable. Holy shit, we need free trade. Yeah. Oh, I guess maybe we'll cancel a couple of these less profitable ones. I just realized it was dumb to, while we're running a bureaucratic deficit, to do that. You said earlier you're thinking of making a video on pop efficient buildings. I was just wondering because you're looking forward to that one. I have to do a lot of spreadsheet stuff. I've been kind of putting it off. I have to completely redo the spreadsheet. It's going to take me like a dozen hours to like do the spreadsheet in order to have the math for making that video. That's like why the videos are like, well, I'm trying to think if there's a more efficient way to do it, but like I have to go in onto the spreadsheet and input the values for like labor, and then if I'm inputting the values for labor, I probably want to do it by job for wage multiplier reasons, so that you can actually get a really good readout. And then like I need to make cells for like the whatever the normal wage is, so you can actually calculate it based on what your actual normal wage is once you account for like wage multipliers, because like what's going to be more pop efficient also depends on your wage multiplier. And then like I'm also not that good with Excel, so it like takes me forever to do those things, and so like that's kind of like I understand the concept in like a theoretical sense, right? And you can observe it when you enter late game, where like you will have like a bunch of logging, and you're like, hey, why is logging so good? Why is this place not fully employed? The logging stuff is expensive. I don't understand, and it's because like the tooling workshop or whatever is pulling the pops off, you know, from it. And it's still really good to go logging earlier. And then logging also acts as like a buffer. For example, when it doesn't have full employment, it acts like a pseudo buffer where, you know, instead of unemployed pops working in, subsistence farms, they work in logging camps. So it's like good in that regard. Holy schnapples. Taxways, please. Are these guys close to a threshold? Oh, these guys got marginalized. That's why. They're super happy, but they're marginalized now. Jesus. Do we have a negative... What's going on? Did we also... Maybe we incorporated Beijing? Is this a driver? I think we can wait on these unis, to be honest. Let's get some of this in. So much tax waste. It's like not worth it for us to just increase taxes to counteract the tax waste. Okay, so what do we have here? Yakucho. Where the fuck? Oh, that's these guys. Snap. They say transfer state? Bro. Just give it to us for free? And then maybe we could slingshot. So, we're gonna do that. And then we could ask to transfer the other way. So let's see what the state that they would be giving us is. That's this state, this frozen state, 35 coal, 13 logging. And you would give us Yang. We would want this. Japanese Kaigan. Or any one of these, like, actual Japan states. This state's okay. Also give its native interest. So what was this one? Not Alaska, it's Kita Kaigan. Okay, it looks like he's not willing to transfer that. There's a bunch of ones that like are just like a little bit of snippet of stuff. Okay, that'll highlight it. I think that's Ryukyu Islands, right? No. Karafuto. Futo. Maybe the other thing is more valuable. Well, they just renamed Hokkaido. So we could choose between this. Oh, this is going to be way more valuable. Alright, we'll sway for Karafuto. Right, unless Chukien's worth a lot. I don't... There's Shikogu just rename. Does have gold. I think we prefer the other state, especially because we get a native interest. Actually, no. Chukian, we should be able to colonize here, right? Oh, QQ has a claim, same with Rahons, so we can't colonize there. So Quinine just has some gold. Versus Carfuto giving us native interest and having a pretty solid amount of gold and coal. Not a lot of arable land, so it'll actually be hard to get pops there. It's a little bit kind of tricky. Just transfer that. And then we don't have to worry about this because Yakuto is just going to get crushed. And then maybe we can get something done there. There's a lot of events and a bit of a flavor that make the Spanish decline. They also aren't super great. Spot is Aragon strong, but you might be right. Yeah, I've talked to people who are more familiar with the mod than me, and they seem to be of the opinion that Aragon is better. So I assume that they are correct, but we won't be able to slingshot this other thing, so we'll just be getting this. Because part of the only way you can do this, like where you side with one side and then the other side, is if there's exactly one diplomatic way. Or like, yeah, okay, we could transfer back, but we're not going to do that. We're just going to take the ducats and run with it. We do have Venice, Radical Venice. Please no. I don't think. God damn it, dude. We are having so much bureaucracy problem. Alright. This is incorporated, so... I mean, we're almost done with Ironclad, but do we have... No, we already researched Central Archives. We don't have one of those. Oh, right? Yeah. Pain. Could get an obligation here. I guess we kind of like that. Is it worth it to have railroads on auto expand? I don't think so. It feels like after I enable transportation, the auto queue just spans them infinitely. Yeah, it's because the price gets really expensive, but it's like you don't actually want to depress the price of transportation because the PM's really inefficient. If you have low transportation price, that means your construction's being spent really inefficiently. Like, it should always be somewhat expensive. Okay, so... Here we have the idea, or an idea, where we can slow down their colonization by having what will be a pretty expensive war, especially because Burgundy will also join them, almost certainly. Is this worth it? Probably not, actually. It'll be better for us just to expand in silence. We do get ironclads, so we're going to start kicking those up. We need to have some ironclads being built. So we need to find where we have a military shipyard. We're going to swap you to steel hulls. Cool. Super. Now we can build ironclads. Not sure how I feel about this change where you can't, like, you just can't swap stuff if you don't have the good, but my understanding is that it makes other swaps, like, easier to do. We're so close to being able to increase tax and stay in the 90% legitimacy bracket. We might have to do that, but it'll also be inefficient at this moment with the 35% tax waste, so... The military is kind of fixed, but still, you can have 8 fronts where you deal small German states and things like that. Yeah, it's not, like, completely fixed. It's, like, so much better, though. Like, I think the people who complain and they're like, military wasn't even fixed, like... I think they don't remember the dark days. you know? Which it's not like... But it's also, like, the people who are like, military's great now. I think, like, it's not... Like, there's still some problems, but there's some interesting stuff going on. Like, also the Navy's, like, not balanced yet, but they just completely reworked the Navy, so, like, how could you possibly have it be, like, well-tuned or whatever? Like, right when it releases... I don't know. I also, like, talk to some of the devs occasionally, like, on their Discord, and, like, they seem like good people and stuff like this. So, like, once there's, like, you add the personal element, it's also hard to get mad at people, but it also, yeah. Oh, we missed a chance to side against these guys. Rough. Oh, we could just transfer states? Let's go, baby. For Lotharinga, I think this is. Yeah. For freezies, good dealsies. And then we just will ignore this war here. We just got ourselves this, which... Do you have a port? You don't. Alright. Well, you need any help with the data mining or spreadsheet stuff, let me know. Are you on the Discord, the Technocrat? It's hard for me to, like, organize anything on here, but... Like, one of the problems is I want to do an equilibrium, like, function, and I don't know how to do it, which means I would have to solve the equilibrium by hand, and I kind of don't want to do that. Or I tried to do it, but then I realized that, well, when I solved the equilibrium by hand, I wasn't using coal. I was just solving for, like, 3 good values, like... And then doing that made me realize how bad picks and shovels is. Like, picks and shovels is real bad. The PM's just disgustingly inefficient, like, which makes atmospheric engine, like, so important. It also means that if you don't have atmospheric engine, you will probably actually want to import iron. Man, at least there's fish and whales in Hokkaido. You mean Sakhalin? Or Hokkaido? Hokkaido has everything. Except oil. Round 2 with Burgundy when? Burgundy... Generally speaking, like, even if you can beat up the other GPs, it's, like, not worth fighting them most of the time. If you're doing this, like, low infamy play, which we want to kind of lean into doing, so... If you're gonna go high infamy, then, like, the game plays a lot different, but I kind of don't like playing that play style. Alright, we're gonna have to brute force a lot more, so we're just gonna take a look, and in places where we are close to 21, we're gonna kick up to 21. And that's gonna be our queue for a while. This, like, bug is pretty obnoxious right now, because I think that, like, if we take a look, actually still getting a ton from the investment pool. It's still roughly a third, and we should have control... It's still roughly 2/3, and we should still have a control of a third of our investment pool instead of a quarter in terms of our construction, which would allow us to actually, like, address this issue at a much faster rate with the government administrations. Feels bad, man. I'm gonna get elected bureaucrats in just a sec here. Yeah, you're on the Discord. You go under craft word here. Let me write down your thing. Because I am a little overwhelmed at the idea of I need to make a spreadsheet that will solve the values for an equilibrium. Or actually, I just need to write out the equation. I don't know what I need to do. But I want to calculate, so there's an equilibrium value of price that every good is at, where, like on a per construction basis, you are indifferent to whether you build, and I want to just solve it for iron, wood, tools, and coal, the three of these combined, but there is a price level where it doesn't matter on a per construction basis what you build. Kind of excluding a lot of various like considerations, because, and this is a problem with Victoria 3, there's so many moving parts, but what you would expect to see is that tools will be more expensive because the PM is less efficient, and it's really less efficient on it, or it's much less efficient on a per construction basis. So you would expect to see something like maybe a minus 40% price on wood, minus 20% price on iron, minus 5% price on coal because it's not as efficient as iron, and like plus 20 or 30 on tools, something like this. Like if you're just doing like an equilibrium solver. And I want to have the solver just tell me at what values am I indifferent to what I construct on a per construction basis. Because when you decrease the price of the good, like you are going to decrease the net value you're getting per construction. And so there's like an equilibrium. And then the interesting thing is that equilibrium is going to change if you are solving that equilibrium on a per pop basis. And so what I need to be able to show that what is that equilibrium on a per construction basis and what is that equilibrium on a per pop basis, and then use this to kind of indicate that you are expecting, like even if you're building like perfectly, you're expecting prices to shift over time, prices to, you're going to want certain prices at certain levels, and generally you want all the prices relatively middling, but like you do want the prices to move in certain directions. Like you want wood to be slightly depressed just because wood is disgustingly efficient. And if it's not depressed, that indicates that the most profitable thing you could build would be wood. And so, but I need to, it's a matter of plugging in XY values, XYZ, or WXYZ values, right? So I need to construct an equation where, like, the inputs and outputs for, where we're solving for X, Y, and Z, where X, Y, and Z are the prices of all these goods, or W, X, Y, and Z are the prices of all these goods. And I have to make 4 equations equivalent, which is the per construction basis for all 4 of these. So that's what I have to do. And it has been a hot minute since I've taken... Like, I was really good at math when I was a kid, and in high school and this type of stuff, but it has been a hot minute since I've, like, done a lot of, like, the math stuff. And so I solved for 3 when you're on picks and shovels, and what I discovered is the equilibrium price for iron mines is over 75%. So, like, you actually just want it at plus 75. Because it's so inefficient, it's better just to build wood. And like wood would be like minus like a huge chunk. I don't think it hit minus 75, but like the PM for iron is terrible when you're solving for just iron, wood, and tools. And also the PM for tools isn't very good either. I forget what the tools value kind of spat out at. I sometimes rush atmospheric engines before stock exchange. You can make an argument for that. I think if you're going to make an argument, having the dark maths helps. Spain. I don't think we want to side against Spain here. That's an uprising, huh? Transfer subjects. Where's Athestia? What the hell? I mean, we can just transfer and then not help them out at all, so I guess we'll do that. So, we actually maybe want to go after the Inca. We can't make them a subject. Or stunt their growth, because they're actually competing with Lotharinga. Could also just make them a protectorate through this war. We would want to declare our own war for this, though. But we could liberate some of these guys, make them more bite-sized. Could just ask for war reparations, too, huh? Could also just not need to mobilize anything, and that would maybe be preferable. Well, we're gonna need to mobilize anyways. So, might as well, like, play correct, huh? Oh, I wish it told me what this releases. I have no idea what all these release. I guess we'll try that. Nice. Looks like they have a fat stack there, and we're in much better shape on the tax waste just after passing that, which is going to be nice. Oh, and this is what they gave us? Okay. That's funny. We can't... This actually might be a liability later, because we can't actually get to that. That makes sense, though. You like warmongering a bit, hence playing Moscow into Russia? Makes sense. So this, there's no thing on us, so we're just going to capitulate. Thought we would be able to bring our ally into the thing. Are there any war goals on us? They're not. Minus 40% on wood. You could pivot for that for more. You could pivot for more furniture, maybe. Yeah, I mean, like, I'm talking. The scenario I was talking about is not a realistic scenario because it's one in which there are only 3 goods, because you like the more goods you introduce, the harder the math gets, right? So I wasn't trying to like super. I was trying to demonstrate an idea. I suppose solving it for everything would make like the most sense, but yeah, these guys don't even want to. Yeah. Right, because if you introduce furniture, then the equilibrium price for wood would change. Because you would have to calculate all the things simultaneously. It would no longer be minus 40. That's if you only had those 3 things to build. That's the price levels you would want. Since mapping is less important in the early game, as you only rely on building in your best rainbow state, and you picks and shovels are horrible. You need iron so bad. I mean, it also depresses trade by a lot. I think I agree with the logic, but it has to be. You have to be on a very specific looking country where like so for example, I can't look at it because it's not vanilla. Transvaal, you might not want to start on it, right? That might make sense on Transvaal. Something like this, maybe. I think Transvaal might start with Stock Exchange, but if you if you're playing specifically like a 1-state start country or like Krakow or something, then I think it makes sense. But I think it's so limited, because even if you're playing Transpol, you're going to take free stat and the other thing. Or, like, you have to be, like, some sort of landlocked one province start. I think it makes the most sense on. But also, I mean, like, it's perhaps also just, like, you could turn it into a math question. Maybe, it's a, like, empirical sort of math thing. Where, like, how much construction are you going to get out of this versus atmospheric engine? Like, or how much increase in net productivity are you going to get out of this versus this? Not including, like, the consideration that you're making capitalists with Atmo engine and you're not with picks and shovels. I'll try some things. I'm also dabbling in spreadsheets. Yeah, I mean, like, I know exactly what I need in order to, like, show the idea, right? That, to me, that's, like, completely unambiguous. But I just, like... Or I know, like, the exact thing I'm trying to show. And I also know, like, what effect it will have. I just would like to see how big the effect is. And, like, the showing the differential, I think, is the only way to, like, really, really well illustrate the idea. And so, like... I don't know. It's also, like, kind of rough. This war maybe didn't make much sense. Well, actually, this is going to slow them down from getting the Mura stuff if we actually can stop them from getting Mura, which it maybe doesn't look like it. Oh, this guy's not on push. What are you, Royalist? Traditionalist? Alright, I'll take the Royalist. We're not really utilizing our normal strategy of using landing squads. Maybe we should be. Starting to get through a lot of this bureaucracy deficit, which is going to be nice. Oh my god. Just looking at the stream numbers, I think everyone left. A bunch of people left when I was explaining the equilibriums thing. I mean, if you're going to do, like, if you're going to look at things from a game theory perspective, you care about indifference thresholds. Like, and there's a theoretical price for every, for every good in an economy at a particular price given a certain set of PMs that you would want to settle on, and the average price would be middling, but you would want some slight variations based on efficiency, but that you will actually care differently which efficiency. So you will care, in the early game, you'll care about efficiency per construction, and in the late game, you'll care about efficiency per pop. Or when you run out of pops. This is what you care about. In terms of what you're constructing. Is this a linear programming problem? I think it would be... I think it would be considered linear. Like, it's it's algebra. I think it's algebraic. Like, it's an equilibrium. You're solving for a relative value of 4 different prices, where the PM of the thing is equal on all of them in terms of the net output. So, like, here we have an output of 1k iron and all these inputs, and so the idea is that on a per construction basis, so whatever output value I'm going to get positive in my balance for my 400 construction to build an iron mine at a given price, where iron's this and this is the same thing and this is the same thing, I'm indifferent as to what I build is the value I'm solving for. So it's like one of those things where you have to solve for like X, Y, and Z, and you have the equations you have are all of the, in order to be able to solve, is all of the PMs. I'm more disappointed that the game gives you less choice in the matter, or even create green revolution that allowed for the industrial revolution in the first place. Yeah, they get the colonization rights anyways, Sag. So this war is kind of wasted. Oh, well, I mean, we're gonna enforce on them either way, I think. But it's, like, somewhat a waste of resources. Really happy that they lowered the amount of attrition you get. So it looks like we gotta kick some more of these things to the front of the queue. Let's do that. That should be enough. Technocrats, Generalist Gaming, are you going to upload your Siam run later tonight? Maybe. I just have to upload it and release it. Probably tonight or this morning. I got to make a thumbnail for it. But I got to keep that going. I also got to update the Civ run. I got to make a thumbnail for that. And then upload it. That's like that's the thing. I've finished recording the Siam run, so it's a matter of just making thumbnails. And making sure I'm uploaded. I probably should have been using some measure of these things. Or some amount. What are you apologizing for, Technocrat? Oh, is that, like, the thing I want to do being difficult? Yeah. I know, like, there's, like, someone who made a way better spreadsheet than mine. Like, there's people who, like, understand how to, like, pull the stuff directly from the game, or they write a script that pulls the stuff directly from the game and it puts it to all the cells, and, like, I just, like, see that stuff and I'm like, because, like, I'm not anywhere near, like, that type of, like, level of execution on any of this stuff, and so the amount of time I have to spend in order to make something do the exact thing I want it to is kind of a little bit of a time. Okay, now we're enforcing them below 0. Cool, cool, cool. And we should get this reform bureaucratic here. I think this might be where we look to end the stream, is just finishing off this reform bureaucratic. But B-Nutter says, gotta head out. Do you think you're... Oh, okay. Do I think we're going to stream this run again, or are you stopping after this one? We might... I mean, like... We might stop after this one, to be honest. Like, we're just in a super dominant position. And there wasn't necessarily a plan. The plan was to show off that Divergences is updated and super cool. And I think that's kind of what we managed to do. Clem Francis says, just a heads up, Anglois is pronounced Anglois? Anglois? Just like Dynasty of Valois? Anglois? Interesting. I thought it was Anglois. Okay. We get Reform Bureaucratic. Yay! Which gets rid of the malice. Wow, I'm a little surprised there isn't like a pop-up for this. But there was a hefty malice that we no longer have. So now we have this huge amount of bureaucracy just instantly off the back of that, which means we can actually use institutions. So was this 1K, 2K? Can even do this. And then we enforce on these babies. Yeah, buddy. So what exactly did that release? Wait, where is... What happened? Did I misclick somewhere? Oh my god, did I click yes to a peace deal? I don't see anything released. Oh, this is the release. Oh, it releases it as unrecognized? Bro, you didn't used to be... You haven't been able to do this since, like, really early on. You used to be able to release unrecognized, or not unrecognized, decentralized, but now you couldn't for the longest time, so we managed to release decentralized. That's going to be good for us, because Lotharinga is going to colonize that. So maybe we actually want to reduce their autonomy now here. It's either that or go after QQ. The main reason for going after QQ is there's an absolute ton of gold here, as well as pops. But, like, look at that, 15, 2, 4, 7. Just so much gold here. Because obviously this is, like, California, Nevada, right? Nevada, I think, is It's either Nevada or Freistaat. One's 14, or one's 15, one's 16, I think. I think Freistaat is 16 and Nevada's 15 in terms of the gold, for most gold state in the game. But I think I'm just gonna catch up on the chat a little bit and then outro here, because I think we've shown off this thing considerably, and then we don't. I mean, at this rate, this might even be like a potential world conquest attempt. I think world conquest might be easier in this mod because there's fewer tags overall. We're actually in decent shape for that type of thing. I think it might be more interesting to watch us play as not the strongest start, because I do think these guys are the strongest. So let's sort by prestige here, or sort by the thing that really matters, and catch up a little bit. Linear programming, a method to solve for maximum profit for the lowest cost based on many variables. Check the Wikipedia page on it. It's probably matches what you're trying to do. That definitely sounds exactly what I'm trying to do. Yeah, I'm less familiar with the terminology. Like, my background has is more from the perspective of like economics and game theory than it is like mathematics and programming, and so like a lot of the terminology is like doesn't necessarily line up, but there's a certain mathematical value where you don't care what you produce, right? They're all equal, assuming the marginal building doesn't change price of the good, which that's not the case. But you just need to use that assumption for trying to calculate it. I'm just commenting so you read it. Tell us about yourself, bro. That's so open-ended. I was a philosophy major in college. I think that's the shortest sentence I can give you that adds like as much context as possible. I think. Wow, we're so much bigger than the next guy. Like, and it's only 63, and we're so much bigger than Burgundy. And like, also there's so many things we can release out of Burgundy that just claps them. But like, I really like this. Like, this mod is made. It's a multiplayer mod that initially, and then the lore evolved around it. And I really like that. You know, like, it makes nice medium-sized chunks. So like, if you're going to play on multiplayer, this one's like way better for this. You're apologizing for bringing up so much math so that people left the stream. Oh, it's okay. No, you're good. I saw that people had left, and then I promptly continued talking about it, so... I mean, that's, like, some of the stuff I find interesting. Like, the like, understanding the game is what's primarily interesting to me, more so than, like, wow. It's a really high SOL. Understanding the game is more interesting than, like, necessarily playing it. Because, like, here we're like, so strong. Like, we have a power projection of 5k. What's Burgundy's? Well, it's more than us, so maybe we shouldn't be talking like we already conquered the world. Like, Burgundy is stronger than us militarily, but, like, we know how to fight this war. It is obnoxious that our capital... Well, it's obnoxious two things. One, that our capital is actually adjacent to Picardy, which isn't, like, vanilla, but also it looks like a dong. Wait, your pop's half French, right? Make some vineyards for easy cash. I don't think that necessarily means we will end up producing more vineyards than like the other like substitute goods like tea and this type of stuff in terms of like price, but it doesn't necessarily mean you want to actively push vineyards. Because the price of wine is not high enough. It's not going to really be that profitable. It's at minus 38 right now. You notice is nice. All right, good night for my fellow Americans. I don't know the rest of the world. Yeah, it is good evening for U.S. Is there a good mod? Especially this is like starting to get a little bit late for the East Coast, or yeah, the East Coast. Is there a good mod that changes the start date? Not the one that I've seen. There's like one that makes it like 1600, but that mod, actually I haven't checked out that mod in like at least 5 months, so it could be completely different now, but when I checked it out, it like sucked really hard. Like the pacing was just like it just made everything really, really molasses slow and added a bunch of new buildings, and so like it didn't improve like the gameplay. Like, it didn't add things for you to do, and it didn't felt substantive. It just felt like way slower. But yeah, not to my, or actually no, there's good mod, like there's two Cold War mods, and I think one of them is kind of medium and the other one's pretty good. I think Cold War Project's the good one. Let's just check the Discord. Yeah, so I would recommend Cold War Project. Is one where it starts obviously in the Cold War. That one will lag out relatively, or you'll start getting pretty laggy relatively quick though, because there's like a lot of extra stuff, and it's not like necessarily avoidable. Like as you add trade goods, it's like makes a bit of a thing. Oh, good night and conquer well. I myself will attempt a conscript complex. A conscript complex? Would love to pay the PMs. Alright. The YouTube has like this little heart emote that blocks, like, for the very most recent thing, it blocks like part of your message. So I just see I would love to play the pre-industrial years, maybe. I would too, but then like I actually would have loved for them to make the start date 1820 instead of 1836, because that way it would start, or 1821, whatever it is, starts right where EU4 leaves off. Would have been really nice, and they're super close. 69 million, nice. We'll take a quick look at some of the stuff. I mean, like, obviously this run's only been like 20-something years, but we'll just take a quick look here at some of the stuff which we were looking at earlier, which is way ahead in terms of GDP, and that we could release someone from Burgundy is like pretty significant. Man, the AI's cranking up at a pretty good clip though. Let's see Scandinavia's. Let's see Paul Allen's graph. But like, dual monarchy is just disgustingly like powerful because of how many pops you have. Like we started with like 40 or 50 million, something like this, which is I think the most in the game behind. Oh, I guess they're gone now. Shun, I think, was a great Shun. It starts with the most pop, but oh how they've fallen. Really kind of like the Thunderdome you get here in Qing, though. I think that would be interesting. I think Qing would be a nice region to play. Maybe Yunnan. Yunnan has really good mappy. And I guess you just have to bide your time for a little while. Or maybe you just straight up go for... Oh, you probably just go for these two states and look to get to the coast as quickly as possible. Or can you take one? No, there's no single state you could take to get to the coast, but going through someone to get to the coast to go to South Africa is like literally the meta and the hyper meta for like every country is like just go for South Africa. It's like full of ranches, rye farms, and first aid. I mostly use automation PM to create unemployed people to put in uniform. Ranches, rye farms, and first aid. Oh, I see what you're saying. You overbuild on the stuff that's going to be used in conscription, and then I assume you export it to buoy up the price when you're not at war. That's actually interesting. That's probably good to do, is to export all the stuff. I mean, I think it's good to export military goods when you're not at war. And then what will happen is that if you're exporting while you're not at war, what will happen is the PMs or the trade routes will be super efficient while you're not at war, and then when you're at war, the trade routes will contract, and you will get a cheaper mobilization. So I think that this is good, and so if that's the idea behind what you're saying with mobilization economy, I like that. I think that's smart. I think that's actually probably something I could make a video on, to be honest. We've done it in a few spots, but I don't think about it as perhaps often as I should. But we've definitely, if we're on like a conscript nation, I've definitely like exported the good to keep the price high, because like running shortages is unacceptable, and so this allows you to, you know, have a nice number of these buildings. But like in particular, with extra supplies increasing, you know, the percentage, this makes it so that mobilization is really expensive when you have these on. And so I think it's like a kind of situation where, you know, exporting all of these goods actually makes a ton of sense. Or at least whichever ones you're utilizing. Obviously, this just does it for all the goods, but... I know there's a mod that starts in the EU4, so like 1400. It was very hard because low SOL everywhere, no buildings, and everyone stars. Yeah, that's the one I played, and it like I think that's the one I played, and it sucked. Do the Danubian and Albion Confederation go to war with Burgundy or Scandinavia? Is it likely to see some sort of Germany? I don't know how likely you are to see like an Uber. Yeah, let's actually just save this. Just in case we do come back to this, because it's not like a foregone that we're not going to come back to this, but now we can swap over. I think that they do have more formables beyond this. I don't know if it's Germany, though, so let's take a look. Okay, so you can still go for Germany, and it is a major unification, so they can still play for Germany. There's no candidates currently, but I think that they will kind of act as like an Austria and Prussia to some extent. Let's kind of come in here. You could still form the HRE. That's a weird one. You could form the empire here with just the two states. But then, like, I think Albion Confederation has their own as well. Let's take a look. Bohemia is definitely... You can just form the HRE as Bohemia, though. If you're playing single player, it's not that hard. So here you can form Zapadoslavia. So there's, like, a lot of formables. Like, Germany also has a... You can form Germany. Like, here, let's check the Rhine one. I want to see if these guys have one. But, like, there's significantly more. Because this is made for, like, multiplayer where, like, everyone kind of forms their own, like... Look, Francia. Jesus. And then, like, let's take a look at the Mamluks. There's, like, this pan-Northern Africa, Arabia thing, I think. Yeah, so you can make Pan-Arabia as well. Which, like, in terms of multiplayer, if you think about resources and pops, this is, like, all of this is somewhat comparable with one of these, like, big European blocks. And would be nice to have in a... Like, it's visually very impressive, but there's not, like, a lot of resources. Like, if we look at Poland, I think that they can form Poland-Lithuania, Polish-Lithuania. I was really disappointed that the companies aren't in here yet. The unique companies aren't tied to states yet. But I understand that they changed a lot of states, so it's, like, it's a bit rough. But you would want to go for Luhansk, just because Luhansk is non-existent anymore, but I guess it would be, like, here... because they have the really nice company. I guess it would probably be in this state. Yeah, I guess it would be right here in Danu instead. But Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. Looks like they could form it as soon as they append that. And so that will be a kind of a little bit of a mainstay. I think Russia looks in bad shape right now, but they have, you know, they can form Russia, or Rus can form Russia. I think one of the bigger ones might be the Mughals, but it's all over the place. You can see that they have these. Oops. Yeah, so this is India, except it's like the actual name for India. If we look at Great Shan, who is the biggest state in China at the start, they should be able to form China if they get the, you know, full hegemony. And this is a minor unification, not a major. Another big one is like the forming of the USA, which would be problematic for these guys, but Arcadia is the one. So you can see it's Vinland here in USA, or in Plantagenet. And I think this is a major unification. No, it's minor. Okay, so you can subjugate them, form stuff. I imagine that some of these unifications that were introduced in Colossus of the South still come through. But here's America, which is kind of like the equivalent of Brazil. And so overall, there's just like a lot of... There's whatever this event was that like caused this to like... form all by itself. Also, I'm not sure why we can colonize through them, but that's fair enough, I suppose. Yeah, I don't know what that's about, actually. But these guys might have a formable. Yeah, they do. For, like, the bigger part of, Australia. And so there being, like, a ton of formables is super, super cool, I think. Like, if I played multiplayer, I'd probably want to play in South Africa, because memes. Also, I don't like playing huge, but, like, you can see, like, look at this. You get this big formable here. Or these two formables. First, this one. And so, like, there's a lot of, like, like, these types of railroading and formables is, like, an interesting sort of way. Maybe I should make a mod spotlight for Divergences. I think I've already done one, though, in the past. But this is, like, there's a lot to do. I think Mali's formable, stuff like this. Mali's formable in vanilla, though. Self-sufficiency makes you hard to crack with blockades. As long as your sufficiency is coming from areas that are, like, there. Like, for example, one problem for us is, like, if we would have to have regional self-sufficiency, so we'd have to have some gun production up here, some gun production here, because if they get raided, wherever we don't have our market capital is actually just going to get bricked. Actually, wherever we don't have the market capital might just get kind of bricked anyways. But if a paradox is a game, I will always find alternate and fun ways of Total Wars. Notice that there's a lot of games that use the name Arcadia as a standard for the U.S. Well, so the United States is, like, explicitly, like, I was going to say a confederation of states, but confederation is definitely not the word I would want to use. But it's, like, the intention behind it was not a single state, so it doesn't make sense if, like, what you're doing is attempting to make a single state. Like, Arcadia as the term makes a lot more sense. Like, the United States of America doesn't make sense if you're not considering it to be, like, separate states that have, like, a very high level of autonomy, which was the original, like, intention in the U.S. And to some extent still the intention in the U.S., although, like, people feel differently or different sorts of ways about it. Glad the Divergences mod carried over well for Vic 2. It was one of the best mods for the game. I think that this is fantastic for multiplayer. I think if we do 3v3v3, we might only play on this, to be honest. Because there are starting to become apparent some issues like that are maybe intractable with, like, 3v3v3. Although, for 3v3v3v3, there's a separate problem, which is that I'm starting to get frustrated with handling, like, the logistics of the stuff. And, like, people dropping out, showing up late, failing to fire, not getting enough people, like, all of these combined is a little bit disheartening, and it's, like, not I don't want to spend time, like, being on top of people over it. Like, I'd rather just it fire or not fire than, like, feeling like I have to micromanage people regarding it. But, like, it's also just, like, anyways, that's a tangent. To be fair, colonizing through Managin might be those immigration schemes to develop the land at little cost for the local government. It's the get-rich-slow scheme. It's the Pops even here. It's like, it's isolated. Attraction is isolated straight region. I think this is probably... You know what this is? This is probably just considered to be, like, not on the coast. For whatever reason, it's, like, letting me colonize. I have no idea why it's letting me colonize, to be honest. We must have an interest. Oh. Darn. I was like, why isn't it... We definitely have an interest there. We had swapped off of dual monarchy here, so... Let's see what this is about. No, it looks like they're calling it... Wait, what is this? I'm so confused. Because they're colonizing in 2 and they're getting progress, but we're not getting progress. I think this might just be a bug, because they have a bunch of unique states, right? So this might just be a bug. What makes Burgundy and Scandinavia so strong despite ranking advantage that they're still on par with you militarily? Well, they start out with more militarily, and they start out with skirmish. There are like 4 countries that start with skirmish. The Belgian Confederation, or what becomes the Belgian Confederation's 1, Burgundy's 1, Scandinavia's 1, and Bohemia's 1, and you do not start with it. But also, I think they just have more units. 160 plus 172. They might just be using better PMs, and also have actually invested in Miltech at this point. Miltech is actually just a lot worse than it used to be. But I would have to imagine, just taking a look at that must be using better PMs, or they have unlocked breach loading artillery. They start ahead in tech as well, so like we're catching up to them. Although there was a little bit of weird bugginess, which I don't know why this natural spread to us. That was a little bit strange. And I was under the impression that they didn't touch the tech tree. That's not something that would happen in vanilla either. Of course, you have in vanilla, you still have this bug, which is so obnoxious with the private queue. Because now, look, now we should have control of over 50% of the queue, and we still only have control over a quarter of the queue. You know, so we're just paying for all this non-government construction. As a suggestion, I think if Burgundy ticks you off, you should take the OG state Burgundy from them out of spite. Yeah, probably. I mean, like, as a human player, we can just outmaneuver them if we fight them. They're not strong enough to be able to, like, deal with the fact that we can micro landings. The AI is not very good at responding to a very large variety of things, and so we can just kind of abuse that. You just started the beginner economics video. It is the best tutorial ever. You are very welcome. I much appreciated that one. I was super stressed out when I was making that one, because I was like, I think that's might be the longest I've spent on a tutorial, and it was because like I really wasn't sure if I was saying too much or too little in a lot of spots. Because it's like you forget what it's like before you like learned all the things, and so like I felt like I was over explaining things in so many spots, but then like I was afraid I was under explaining them, and it's like this. I have to try and imagine. It was also supposed to be specifically for beginners, but like not like condescendingly towards beginners. Like, you know, like a tutorial. Like tutorials can be like super condescending if you assume that people like I assume that anyone who buys a Paradox game and like starts playing can like, you know, figure out that this means you build a building, and then when you click on the building, it enters the queue, and that it's gonna make progress using this progress bar and eventually be constructed. Like, and so explaining that is like offensive, and so like the trick is to like assume that someone's played like 2 to 3 hours of the game, and then like where do they need to be from there, and also assume that they're intelligent, right? And so it's like, it's a weird, like, sort of starting point, because it's not 0. Is that valid for the current version of Wiki? Let's see, a suggestion. What do you mean? The Economics 101 tutorial? It is made for the current version. It was updated. It's a beginner tutorial that's updated specifically for 1.5, yeah. On a personal note, I just love all your in-depth economics with spreadsheets and SOL explanations. I watch a bunch of Wiki content, but I consume yours the most. Thank you very much. Yeah, I mean, I like to be a lot more analytic about it. If someone's watching my content and they like are watching for RP, they'd probably be better served watching One Proud Bavarian. Or that's what my understanding from what like viewers tell me. But like, I think trying to understand the game is like really interesting, which is why I'm like nerding over the like notion of doing like equilibrium thresholds for buildings. But like, as this is like pretty evident in this dual monarchy run, it's not like the game's hard. And you're also not playing against other players. Like if you're playing in a game that's PvP, what you do like really matters like a whole lot. But like this game's, it's not about like winning or like achieving a certain goal. It's about making the line go up. We lost all of our historical data because we swapped countries. Sag. This is why we save right before we do all those country swaps to show stuff off. But I do think we've been trying to outro the stream for a little while here, although my friends haven't hit me up yet, so this is kind of one of the reasons why we've been going a little bit longer. But yeah, just super smooth crank up, like, because you have, yeah, Dual Monarchy has both, like, reasonable, they don't have the absolute best tech like France and England do, but they have really strong tech. They're, like, I think they're a little bit better than, like, vanilla Austria in terms of tech. I'm not sure exactly. But just having a combination of the pops and the tech and, like, decent laws just feels so smooth. Especially now that we don't have that huge bureaucracy problem. I guess you're probably not supposed to go for institutions very aggressively as them, just as a result of the minus 25% bureau malice. But anyways, I think we're going to wrap up here. It's been a good stream. Thank you all for coming and hanging out. I hope you enjoy the rest of your holiday season. And other than that, have a good one. Bye-bye now.